Is there a firm line between good and evil, or is it all just a matter of perspective? Not So Sane Entertainment presents No Righteous Men.
What?
I'm starting to wonder if me and your mama is already related.
A Western morality tale that asks these questions in 8 short minutes and answers them with a shitload of gunfire. You can watch it today absolutely free on Amazon Prime. A link is in the description.
Are you done? Suppose I am.
What's up, you bunch of clam jammers? Terrence Popp here, Ridiculous.com. Oh, and Bad Pop showed up for this one. Ladies, you know what that means? Pour yourself a double menagerie. Cause I'm gonna rip some shit up going in and out, if you know what I mean. Winning. And dudes, sit back, have a couple beers, let's laugh about this. Oh, and I forgot you might need your drinking straw. Because I am now going to answer one of my long-standing requests, going back 6 years. I can't tell you how many times I got this request, but we all know the acronym for it now, don't we?
Not all women are like that. Where? But enough of you are, bitch.
And you know what, ladies? I'm a fair guy. You do have a point there, and I will concede it to you. But the price of finding a woman, especially a good woman, is astronomically high. And you pay for that in blood, sweat, tears, gold, and your goddamn soul. And if the woman you do find was really good at hiding the crazy and, shit went south, not like I would know anything about that, huh? Before you know it, that price tag will skyrocket so high, it just might cost you your life. Yeah. Ladies, we're gonna start this off talking about one of your favorite things. Money! Winning no. And diamonds, they're a girl's best friend, right? But to men, it's a curse. Gentlemen, brace yourself. But did you know that the average cost for an engagement ring is over $6,000? Holy shit. That is 6 premium sniper rifles or 3 years worth of fucking pizza every day. But I will be fair here. A lot of the couples don't spend nearly that much. Depending upon how good you are in the sack, the dude will spend anywhere between $1,000 and $5,000. Ladies, if you like taking it directly to the warehouse and maybe you let him hit the brown eye bullseye once in a while and you like your throat yogurt, he'll probably tip the scale more towards the $5,000 if you know what I mean. No matter how you spin it, these dudes are spending between 2 and 3 months of salary to buy one goddamn ring. And this comes after, no pun intended, thousands of dollars are spent whining, dining, and 60-90. You might think you're a cheap date, but maybe you're just cheap, Space Ghost. On top of that monumentally expensive blood diamond bullshit, you gotta buy her another ring after that. What the fuck? And that one will cost you an additional $1,400. Oh, and on top of that, you're flipping the bill to buy your own wedding band also. And that is another $500 out the door. That's a tricked out Remington 870 12 gauge, just saying. You haven't even walked her down the aisle yet, and you are a minimum of $12K in the hole. And that's why we refer to the woman's slot C as the Bermuda Triangle, because it absorbs careers, lives, and countless cash. And I made a video about it. Here it is. Check it out.
Chad Swagger has simple ambitions in life. He wants to work for a large beer company and satisfy women. Wee! If only he were half as charming as he thinks he is, and half as desperate as he actually is. The Bro Next Door is a twisted character study that exposes a rare side of the American bro-tato. You can get it today on Amazon. A link is in the description.
Now you gotta marry it, and that's gonna cost you another $30,000. And that, gentlemen, is just the average. If you're one of those dudes that sprang for the $6,000 wedding ring, I'm thinking $30,000 just isn't gonna cut it. You made the mistake of treating her like a princess. Now you gotta pay for the Walt Disney princess wedding. And of course, every princess needs a castle, right? Wah. And that average castle, according to Zillow, is gonna cost you $200,000. Oh my God. And that cost is before the APR interest rate. Second mortgages, because you gotta fix the kitchen and the bathroom, and any refinance costs and maintenance. And you can file all that under pussy appeasement. All that money down the rabbit hole. I made a video about it. Here it is. Check it out. Now, ladies, if you're gonna want him to throw that kind of money down the rabbit hole, you gotta let him fuck you like a rabbit, screen 5. Just because he paid to put wedding cake in your mouth doesn't mean you get to take his cock out of your mouth. No matter which way you suck it, the frosting is still the same color, and it's just as expensive. One is salty, one is sweet, or so I've been told. Go ahead, eat the pineapple, gentlemen. And of course, every princess needs a horseless carriage now, don't they? And that's another $20,000 getting sucked right into that Bermuda Triangle every 3 to 5 years. You gotta keep up with the Joneses or Jamal. And this is an alien concept to most dudes who aren't cucks. We will drive that car until the wheels fall off and tie rods shoot through the hood. A woman will drive a car until she gets tired of it and wants something new, or her friends get new cars also. And just remember this, gentlemen, in today's day and age, these women feel the same about cocks as they do about cars. So drive that car at your own risk, and remember, buckle up. And why, gentlemen, you are living in the Western world, and every time you get married and tie the knot, flip a fucking coin. The primary statistic that we see on a regular basis is 50% of all first marriages end in divorce. Depending upon the source you look at, that stat will decline all the way to the point of Leave It to Beaverland. For example, those 30-pound brain mother fornicators in the Pentagon are trying to sell us all out here in the real world that the military divorce rate is 7%. No, get the fuck out of here. You're not fooling me. You're not fooling me, man. No way. Former servicemen out there, veterans, even if you're in the regular army, can you look me in the eye through the camera and tell me that's an accurate stat? I didn't think so. You spend one day in the fucking military, you know that stat is complete bullshit. Your team leader, your squad leader, your platoon sergeant, your first sergeant, sergeant major, commander, battalion commander, and brigade commander all have been divorced. Most of them multiple times. I can't imagine where all of these Leave It to Beaver stats come from. Well, yes I can. Ladies and gentlemen, newsflash. If there is money to be made, people will lie to you. This country banks hard and fast on marriage and divorce. It's a cash cow, kind of like my redheaded ex-wife, screen 5. Gentlemen, you heard me just mention a few sentences back about multiple divorces? You're a bunch of foolish mortals. Because when you get married a second time, your chances of divorce climbs to 62%. And if you're stupid enough to write a check against it for the third time, that number climbs to 75%. And the average cost of these divorces is $15,000 per person. But you walk in a divorce court with a P-nice and a decent job, odds are you're paying for it all. Oh, what's this? Oh, my beer and it's empty. Oh, what's this? Oh, another beer. My ex-wife and it's full. Cheers. You might have 2 bottles that look exactly the same on the outside, but this one stole all of this one's beer. Beeronomics, gentlemen. Learn it. Gentlemen, I hate to say it, but that is the best case scenario for you. Because most of these marriages, there's no prenup on the table, nor was there any conversation for one. because you were young and you were in love and you were dick thinking. Idiot. And you were stupid enough to believe her when she took your penis out of her mouth, looked you in the eye and said,
I'm different and I love you.
yeah, right. Gentlemen, women don't marry you for your money. They divorce you for it. And most of these divorces are fueled by a few simple words. I'm not happy. Wah. And the rest of them probably have their origins for a couple other reasons. Reason number one, you both just grew apart and you're gonna take your stuff and go your separate ways. I myself have never ever seen it happen that easily. I've heard about it on rare occasions, but hey, you take your chances. Reason number two, and this happens probably in 10% or less of the occasions. He looks at the woman and goes, fuck it, you're not worth it, Space Ghost. And why am I saying 10%? Because 80% of all divorces filed by women, sources in the description. And the third reason, and this is a precious small fraction, actual domestic violence. Now, he didn't go total OJ, but he liked his orange juice freshly squeezed, if you know what I mean. Ah, fuck, I just got us demonetized because I'm fucking around and joking about domestic violence. That's fucked up. Domestic violence isn't funny, but it kind of is. But since we're not making any money from this episode because I got us demonetized and I just killed another bottle of fucking brandy, please check out the links below for Patreon, PayPal, and Subscribestar because this shit ain't cheap. If all the subscribers just gave $1 a year, we could do this forever until we both kick our air addictions. Now that I've freely admitted I'm such a terrible person because I'm joking about domestic violence, I have a question for you. What is worse, joking about hypothetical domestic violence, or lying about it in court so you can get an automatic win, get the payday and the kids, and ruin a man's life? And please, don't even insult me by telling me it doesn't happen. It happens all the time, and divorce attorneys encourage it. And in the feminist age we live in, domestic violence can literally mean anything. Your wife fucks up, and she blows all of the money for the household on booze, bras, and bullshit, and you go, hey, that's it, I'm taking the finances back and I'm gonna run it. She screams domestic violence.
You're trying to exert power over me by taking away the money. This is abuse.
Never mind the fact that you can't understand normal thinker, you have no concept of money nor debt. We already did a whole episode on this bullshit wheel of misfortune. Here it is, check it out. I forgot, domestic violence is not a gendered issue now, is it? Most of the time when you have a couple who like to wail on each other, it's usually reciprocal. Oh, look at those matching black eyes and casts. How sweet. I bet you your makeup sex involves you both hitting each other in the face with hammers. But when that domestic violence is not reciprocated, 70% of the time, it's the woman doing it, links in the description. And if you're a dude and you call the police because you're a legitimate victim, you have an 86% chance of being arrested. Now, I derived that stat from the Uniform Crime Report. I know they're probably not dead on accurate, but I know they're in the ballpark. Now, gentlemen, let's say you're a lucky man, kinda, and your soon-to-be ex-wife takes the high road. You don't have any children, and she does not accuse you of domestic violence which you didn't commit. If you were married for 10 years or more, alimony for life is a real goddamn thing. And if you're dumb enough to get married multiple times, it can kill you. Oh, wait a minute, it did. Robin Williams made a video about it. Here it is, check it out. But That is the best/worst case scenario. Now listen, if you were dumb enough to write a check against it, chances are you're dumb enough you're gonna want your 2.3 kids. And that 0.3, that's the abortion she didn't tell you about it because it just got dark in here, screen 5. As if we weren't already demonetized. Oh my God. My back itches, I need my abortion hook. No matter how you dump that vaginal turd, the cost on average, $3,600. But that cost is only if the moon lines up with the sun and everything goes perfectly. Women today, they're waiting longer and longer to drop that first vaginal turd. And ladies, when you decide to run out that biological clock and throw that Hail Mary pass for the win, that gets real expensive and risky. Your chances of birth defects and complication goes right through the roof, and so does the cost. But let's say you decide to go the IVF route, because that never really works the first time. Combine that with multiple attempts and the multiple miscarriages and complications, that cost could easily skyrocket to $500,000. In fact, we made a whole episode about that, proving it. Here it is, check it out. IVF does not stand for in vitro fertilization. I have no idea who told you that shit. It actually stands for infertile vicious female, huh, screen 5? That mama bell's been ringing something fierce. And you've been ignoring it up until the point it drove you crazy. And when you add kids into this equation, the cost scales get even worse. 85% of women get custody of their kids in divorce court. I know you're thinking, well, Pop, 15% chance, that's pretty good. Not really. Of that 15% of the time where the man does get custody of his kids, 7% of that is because the woman didn't show up and it's uncontested. So in reality, when you back that number out, you have an 8% chance of winning. That's it. Now, I will concede this fact. Those numbers are in flux because more parents are working. And the courts are trying to figure out how to keep that Title IV money gravy train humming along. It's nothing more than government legislated theft. And I made a whole episode about it. Here it is. Check it out. Irregardless if you get custody, and let's be honest, you're probably not. Divorced men are still financially liable for their children even though they don't have custody and no visitation. And in 33% of these cases, the men are being tricked to pay for kids that aren't even theirs. Now I know you're wondering, Pop, where did you get that number? You're full of shit. Am I? I got that number from the American Association of Blood Banks, and I made a whole episode about that phenomena. Here it is, check it out. All these women have to do is trick the dude for 24 months in most states, and he is on the hook for child support for that kid, even after it's proven it's not his. So basically, women are being rewarded by the government and the courts for committing fraud. In all of the years of researching this bullshit, I've only come across one woman who was punished for committing paternity fraud. And we made a whole episode about her, and I hope it sets a precedent. Here it is, check it out. Remember this, gentlemen. Millions of women are doing this, but only one has been punished. What does that say about your chances? Now, gentlemen, I hate to do this, but I'm honest and I don't lie to you. I gotta talk about the cuck factor. We have a completely unregulated sexual marketplace. Do you know what that means? In the Western world, it means more single mothers and more incels. You have 20% of the dudes banging 80% of the women. As an inescapable result, fathering 80% of the children. And a lot of these women who decide they want to bang the bad boy don't think about the financial aspects, and they don't get adequate child support to raise these kids. Bad boys, they sure as shit love the pussy, and they'll ride that all the way to the scene of the crash. Then they just unhook, walk away, and go, I'm not cleaning this up. And what do these strong, independent women do after that? They find a man to take care of them. That's right, you white knight cuck bastards. And an insane number of you cuck mangina white knight motherfuckers out there will write a check against this. Gentlemen, riddle me this. Are you gonna pay Porsche prices for the Pinto that was the meat in a smashed up sandwich, if you know what I mean? These ladies are way over their mileage. In fact, they're over their middle-age mileage, and I made 2 videos about that. Here they are, check them out. They have rode the cock carousel so fast and so hard, no pun intended, it flipped off its axis, and now it's rolling through the carnival, crushing people. If you're stupid enough to write a check against that, you deserve what you get. We already live in a society where women get all the benefits of equality, and they still want special treatment on top of that. Women are under no obligation to accept responsibility for their lives whatsoever. Even if you slip one by the goalie, doesn't mean you can lock her in. But she sure as shit can lock your ass in for 18 to 21 years depending upon what state you live in. They get the AAA option right out of the gate. They can abandon, they can abort, and they can put it up for adoption. Men don't get that option. We can either pay, or run away, or don't fucking play. But men are the ones with all of the reproductive freedoms, right? Give me a break. On top of that, now we have the Me Too bitches who believe the due process should just fucking go out the window. Hashtag believe all women. They never lie, except for the fact that they do, and they do it a lot. Just ask Brian Banks. He spent 5 years in the cooler because some bitch accused him of fucking rape, and she got $2 million for it. You can finally talk to him because he's out of prison. Oh, and they made a movie about him, and it's coming out this month. Men are losing their jobs, careers, and lives over some goddamn false allegations or allegations that are decades old and can never be proven. Don't believe me? Ask Brent Kavanaugh. Did you watch that debacle on the news? I did, every minute of it. He got his whole reputation dragged through the mud in front of the entire country by a woman who didn't fucking remember who, what, where, when, or even fucking how. Bottom line, ladies, there's a lot of good women out there, and a few of you actually watch this show. And some of you ladies have been so kind as to donate pictures of your asses to the show, and for that, I salute you. Cheers. Just for fun, we're gonna throw up another one here, so let's all say it together. But just because there are good women out there doesn't mean we can pick you out of the crowd just by looking at you. And the first women to say they're not like that and they're strong independent are the first ones to get in line to stab you in the back. Women have successfully rigged every government system in their favor. Everyone can see it, but yet they still insist they need yet more to make it fair. And they want more legislation to help them dodge responsibility for their serial bad decision making.
Women, they should be able to do what these top shelf men are doing, and that's bang everything in sight. And of course, when the birth control pill proved to be not as effective as advertised, oh, well, they gotta have abortion because, of course, no consequences are allowed for females in the West.
And these are shitty decisions that ruin the lives of their kids, husbands, and this country as a whole. Do yourself a favor, ladies and jelly spoons. Look up the Communist Manifesto online and download it. And once you do that, use find and replace. Find every word of communism and replace that word with feminism. And once you do that, let the good times roll. Not only will you realize that feminism is communism, we are living through the effects of that right now. The abolition of the family and the centralization of the government industry, that's Marxism in a nutshell. We've been hearing a lot about that stuff recently in the Democratic presidential debates. Fuck.
There's a certain forgetfulness, I think, that's taken place on the revolutionary and radical left about family abolition. I think we've forgotten how to dream that big.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants. Okay.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
Just remember this. You can vote yourself into socialism, but you'll have to shoot your way out. And we can see it as men. If you women are willing to destroy this country to get what you want, What are you capable of doing to us? Nothing good. And that's the reason why more and more men are taking the red pill and going MGTOW, because they realize the juice is not worth the squeeze. And no, MGTOW does not stand for men groping their own wiener. Pound sand. I will admit, because I am a comedian, that is pretty goddamn funny though. I'll give you that. Now listen, if you can't take a good burn, you got no business being in public or on the internet, and we love both. Speaking of which, you should be wearing one of these shirts when you're out and about in public. Go to patrolbase.net and pick yourself up some swag. And if you like this channel and what we have to say, hit the subscribe button and the bell. Otherwise, YouTube is going to scrub us from existence. And we know YouTube has been unsubbing people from our channel. Go ahead, resub. It's okay, we'll forgive you. And if you don't, that's fine. I will be at the bar waiting on your ass after you get divorced for the 3rd time. And no, I'm not buying you any drinks.
Whenever it's the dude getting beat up, everyone thinks it's hilarious. When it's the woman, how dare you? She's a woman, she's defenseless. Oh, wait a second, I thought women were physically and mentally equal. Not when she's being beaten. Why do the rules change depending on the situation? And we gotta pull out couch downstairs. It's the only thing in my house that pulls out, if you know what I mean.